Year. This is Dr. Ferguson. I'm one of the technical consultants for the Bahamian Judo Federation. I also worked along with USA Grappling on the judo side. I have been working with the Bahamas through this particular quadrennial. I want to say thank you first to the president of the Bahamian Judo Federation, DRC Rahman. It's been a pleasure to work with the Bahamas. As many of you know, the Bahamas is a very small country. I'm one of many consultants that Sensei Rahman utilizes. He has financial consultants, a lot of technical consultants. As a matter of fact, I'm used for my particular expertise in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, as well as my ability to strategize and come up with tactics for Judo. I'm also used on the technical side in some various aspects, but there's some other individuals that he uses for some of the technical information that he receives. I really enjoy working with Sensei Rahman because he understands the benefits of using a collaborative approach when it comes to the process of embetterment. We've read some of the same books this year, Good to Great, The Talent Code, Talent is Overrated, Outliers, Blink, and I think he's getting ready to work on What Dogs Saw by Malcolm Gladwell as I finish this year as well. I want to go over some things about Judo so that I can give you a kind of inside view of what it is that I do for a living in terms of various combat sports, and more specifically what I do for Judo and some of the work I've been doing for the Bahamian Judo Federation. Right now we are in flux, we're growing, we are trying to basically grow and expand in terms of a quote-unquote takeover for dominance in the Caribbean region, and then work throughout the diaspora in the North American region, and then South America, and to make some damages, as we would say, in Europe, by bringing home some hardware over there. Of course, we understand it's going to take some time to do so, but that does not mean that we do not put forth our best foot forward and put forth our best effort in doing what is the correct thing to do in order to succeed in the sport of Judo. So here's what I want to talk to you about. Just recently in the IGF, there were some sporting rules that changed. A couple hurdles to jump over. First and foremost, there's a situation now where the repertoire system has kind of changed. If you lose to the individual who does not make it back to the finals, you have one tournament. You have one fight in the tournament, and then you're done. Many people can understand what it's like to take a flight from the Caribbean to Europe, spend thousands of dollars, and then not have any match except for one match. Well, that means if you're not of the technical, tactical, or strategic prowess that you can get 2 or 3 matches per tournament, you have to really focus your time on 1, attending the training camp, and 2, making sure that there's a better development of Judo in your particular region so that you have more tournaments to go to in your particular region at your level so that you can develop. That means you have to spend a little more time and money locally before you branch out internationally. You should always branch out internationally to use the international landscape as a thermometer, if you will, to kind of take your temperature and see where you are in terms of your development, so you can go home and make some changes. The international Judo scene has to be your feedback loop for information. But instead of complaining, as a lot of people do, I was with Sensei Rahman when he met with me, as well as a couple of other of his advisors, and we got to the point where we said, hey man, there's no sense in complaining. What we need to do is get these young men and women more matches in the Caribbean region. So Sensei Rahman has a lot of tournaments internally, in-house, to give his kids matches inside the dojo, and they've been traveling a lot in terms of in the Bahamian region as well as in the Caribbean. The second thing is that you have to really understand what's necessary in order to still make as huge of a dent as possible in terms of embetterment. So, new rules, okay? We've gone over the one and done situation in tournaments. Here are the new rules. The new rules is you can no longer grab the pant legs or below the belt in order to take somebody down. You can't do it in terms of a counter, but there's a lot of ambiguity in terms of the interpretation of the rules, and as a coach, I personally would not risk anybody taking that I wouldn't risk giving any advice for someone to take that kind of risk of even grabbing below the belt and risking Hansokamaki. But if you get Hansokamaki, you lose the match and you're out of the tournament, you spend a lot of money. No good. So here's what I would recommend. I'd recommend, as a lot of people say, just play judo. Here's the thing about judo. Judo is not judo. The judo as you know it is not the judo that is played on the international level. The judo as you know it is not the judo that's played on the international level. Pardon me, let me cut this phone off. Everybody thinks that with these new rules that judo is going to become some type of wondrous technical display of abilities. And I've said it on many occasions, okay? You don't win a judo match with technique. You do not win a judo match with technique, okay? You win a judo match with your brain, all right? You don't win a judo match with technique. Technique is only one element of everything that you need, all right? You need SCTTS. I cover this in depth within Judo Success Secrets. You can go to judosuccesssecrets.com if you'd like, all right? Now, strength, conditioning, technique, tactics, and strategy. This is how you win a judo match. With strength, conditioning, technique, tactics, strategy. Now, here's the one thing. Listen, I'm not going to lie to anybody. The more technique or techniques that you have available, the more tactics and strategy you can utilize. However, you're not going into a match using 15, not even 10 different strategies or tactics. You're probably going to use maybe 2 or 3.